All right, good morning, guys. So we're going to do a really quick, fun drawing project, and I do this with my first grade group. So it's easy enough for our young ones to follow. And we're basically going to use just some real simple shapes in order for them to accomplish this drawing project. And it is, well, I won't say it's one of our favorite pesky bugs, but it's definitely a pesky little bug that I have noticed coming out a little bit more now that the weather is nice. I don't think we had enough cold weather for these guys to go away. But we're going to make some little skeeters. How cute is he? We're going to draw these little mosquitoes. I teach them how to do this because, like I said, it works with these little simple shapes, and it's pretty easy for them to do. And we're kind of utilizing all the paper here. If you look at it, it's really teaching them how to work with these big shapes and draw off the paper and try to organize it in that aspect. That is not always easy for my little folks to do. So it gives them this cute little cartoon shape. Of course, as I'm teaching it, we start talking about things with, mosquitoes and, life cycles and some other stuff that we do. So, that might be a good segue for you guys if you want to go look up some interesting facts for kids about mosquitoes and all the stuff that they do. They are interesting little bugs, as much as I dislike them because they really seem to target me when I am outside. I don't know what it is about me and my blood, but oh my gosh, mosquitoes really like me. And then, of course, we draw a fun little background and we talk about pattern. As you can see, I have established a pattern here on the background of my little guy, and he's even got a little pattern on his body. And even though it is not the accurate colors, we give them a fun little pop of color just to kind of brighten it up, and we go from there. So I'm going to put my finished guy right here. And as always, Captain Jack is going to help me. I need you to do better there, Captain Jack. There we go. Thank you, sir. Okay. So to do this, I used, as always with the kids, when I'm doing the models, you see a lot of marker outline in mine. And that's because as I'm drawing on the white erase board, it just makes it easier for the kids to see what it is I'm doing. So you don't have to include markers in any of yours. If you want to just color it straight in crayon, that is more than fine. And of course, as I'm drawing with you guys and I go over stuff, a lot of times I'm doing it in markers just to make it easier for you guys to see. It doesn't have to be done that way. But we did use crayon as our main coloring material here. So hopefully you guys have got some crayons laying around. If you want to use something else, go for it. Why not? Make it fun. Make it yours. So I've got my pencil. I've got my marker. I've got my crayons. I'm going to use my big box of crayons. I got my little box of 8 colors, but just whatever's going to work for you guys. So I do start with his head in the center. And I tell them to draw kind of lightly because we will be doing some erasing where we see his nose pop out, where we see the eyes pop out. We'll erase some of those areas there. And we don't want to draw too dark where we can't get rid of that. His head is going to be fairly big. And, I start talking to them in the sense of not too big, not too small, like Goldilocks, just right. We want the kids to kind of get it to be just right. We don't want the head to take up all the page. So we're going to draw our circle. We're not worried about perfect circles. I don't think our mosquitoes have perfectly circular heads. They certainly don't have eyeballs that look like that. Your my strange dizzy child. So I'm going to put a circle right in the middle. And I'm teaching. Can I help you? Get a yogurt and go. Quarantine is fun, friends. And then what I do is I tell them they can kind of choose the direction their body comes off of the head here. Even if they want to come off the top of the page, it doesn't really matter. This is going to be yours. Most of them have a tendency to follow me. I mean, that's just kind of their natural instinct to follow Ms. Mims, especially if they're the first graders. Your older student, you know, may choose to kind of go in their own general direction with this because by the time they're hitting second, third grade, they're feeling a little bit more comfortable in their skills, and they don't feel the need to just stay on track to follow me as much. So go the opposite direction. And we're thinking about an ovular body, even though we don't see all of it. So I'm coming off with these rounded edges. Ta-da. And we're not going to see all of his legs, so I just kind of pop out some tiny little skinny legs off of his body there. And those will come down off the page. We're trying to use as much of the page as possible so that we can kind of create some movement here for our eyes to kind of visually move around the page and see what we get. And let's see, what else? We're going to have some wings coming off of his body. And those are going to come up and around. We've got this big flower petal shape. And then on mine, I added just a hint of the other one coming off the edge there. Depends on how much room you're going to have, really. As you can see, I made this body much smaller. And then what we did was we added his little long nose. That's what I added next, was his long nose. And we're going to start right in the middle of his head there. And we're going to head out towards the page. I told him, I said, think about a rectangle. Won't close it off because our noses are not closed. Ours stay open. His is going to do something similar. A little light reflecting off of it from the door there. And that's when you know where you can put your eyeballs. Above the nose, kind of one on each side. Some of them like to give him this really big eye. And then I'm going to erase whatever is left from my head, from the eye and off the nose, so it looks just a little bit more natural. And I did give him a little smile. Some of the kids do, some don't. Some of them leave him just how he is, so no big deal. Now I'm going to give him some stripes on his body, and that's just to add a pattern of color. Obviously, our mosquitoes don't really look like that, but it's all just to add a little bit of a design element for our mosquito friends. So at this point, I'm just going to give him a real quick outline so you see exactly what it is I had created. In fact, I did a not very good job staying on my lines. My kids would have something to say about that. If any of them are watching this, and Ms. Mims. Yeah, well. A little bit different, friends. We're okay. There we go. Now to do the background, what I did is I told them to kind of choose their own little shape that they want to use. Obviously here I did rectangles, and we repeated it round and around and around till we just kind of ran out of room on the paper. Some of them have done little circles, so it looks like little targets and just got bigger and bigger and bigger and expanded. Others have done triangles. Some of them started right by the head. So from here, we kind of have a lot of choices for our design idea and for our background. And you can really do what you'd like to do. Some of them like to start it up here in the triangle, or the corner, I'm sorry, rather. Need some more of this mommy coffee juice. And they just pick a shape. Let's see, I'm going to go for a triangle this time. And then we just continue to expand it. In fact, let me do it with my marker. And it is. It's just creating a pattern. So that I've got areas to color. leaving it off the body, trying to remember to go around him. And then you are ready to color. And I tell them that they can kind of color him whatever colors they'd like to. And to remember to fill in your patterns in the background. And pattern is something that is going to repeat itself over and over. I do try to limit them, my first graders, to about 2 colors in the background. It helps make it just a little bit easier so we don't have so much stuff going on. Of course, I do always have a few students who are completely AG, and they can handle, many colors, creating a pattern with 4 colors or the rainbow, and and that's great, and that's all fine. Absolutely go for it. Whatever your child is able to do, whatever you are able to do, rocking on. I love to see it. So, and if you'd love to send me your completed work, go ahead. You can do that through Twitter. That makes it much easier. And my Twitter handle is Mrs. Mims in the number 1. And you can send anything you'd like to right there, or just, hit me up if you have other ideas for something you'd like to see done. I've got a few more projects that I'm going to hit you with today, and you can always comment below and give me any ideas there, or let me know how it worked out for you. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Bye, friends.